A decade ago, we faced a tough situation in Afghanistan. We could have stayed indefinitely at a cost of $50 billion a year and perhaps a dozen casualties a year. But then Donald Trump promised the American people that we would withdraw, and that at that point, it was no longer a possibility that America would remain indefinitely. So what was accomplished during the Obama administration in Afghanistan? One important thing: we got bin Laden. What was accomplished during the Biden administration? A very difficult withdrawal, one of the most difficult military maneuvers carried out early in the Biden administration. And not only did we withdraw our troops, we were able to get out perhaps 100,000 others. A difficult maneuver accomplished, but not without casualties. But what did we get under the Trump administration? Nothing. Except he was able to sign a surrender agreement toward the end of his administration that he could have signed at the beginning of his administration. This resolution is entirely appropriate if you change one thing. Condemn not that list of people to which they added Harris at the end. Condemn one man, Donald J. Trump, because during his presidency, 63 Americans died in Afghanistan. 57 of them returned to dignified return ceremonies that Donald Trump was too busy to attend. He was busy golfing instead. During his presidency, his golf handicap did not suffer. But 57 American widows and fathers and mothers and families suffered as they saw the coffins brought back to America and a president too busy to be there. So what did we accomplish for the $200 billion that Donald Trump spent for the 63 who died? We signed a surrender document. Now, I know they'll say there were all kinds of wonderful things in the document. Nothing but meaningless, ephemeral promises with no enforcement provisions, but don't take my word for it. Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, Trump's national security advisor, said our Secretary of State, Mr. Pompeo, signed a surrender agreement with the Taliban. Why surrender after you lose the 63 lives? Why not surrender in 2017? That's because withdrawals are difficult. Surrender documents, easier. Trump signed the surrender document and then left it to his successor to accomplish the withdrawal. So we're told, oh, well, Donald Trump somehow would have enforced these meaningless conditions, all without enforcement provisions. That's not what he would have done. What does John Bolton, Donald Trump's other national security advisor, say? He said, had Donald Trump been reelected, he'd be doing the same thing on the question of withdrawal from Afghanistan. But don't trust his staff. What did Donald Trump say? Donald Trump said in October of 2020, after the 5,000 Taliban fighters had been released because of Donald Trump's decision, he said, without any of the conditions having been met, that he would have all those troops home by Christmas 2020. Those conditions were meaningless. They were meaningless to Donald Trump. They were meaningless to his national security advisor. They had no enforcement provisions in them. So, why did we stay in Afghanistan past 2017? So that Donald Trump didn't have to accomplish the withdrawal that was so difficult and for which he produced no plan. And so we lost $200 billion. So we lost 63 lives. So we sent over $10 billion worth of our equipment that was spread all over Afghanistan with no prospect of recovering it, knowing that the Taliban would get it. We did all that during the Trump administration. And now we're having a partisan resolution as to who's to fault. The man signs the keeps our troops there, has 63 casualties, spends $200 million, signs a surrender agreement, announces he's not going to enforce its provisions, and now we have this.